Hi everyone, my name is Rafael Lazaro. I am the owner and principal of Lazaro Group, an employment law firm based in Chicago, Illinois. Welcome to the fourth edition of 2 Questions in 3 Minutes, where I strive to give straightforward answers to interesting employment law questions. In this episode, we're going to talk about a particularly interesting subject to me, which is privacy in the workplace. Specifically, we're going to talk about the Illinois Biometric Privacy Act. That act has been the subject of class action litigation in the past 5 years, and many employers have not been able to survive the lawsuits. So in this week, we're going to talk about specifically what is biometric information, and second and most importantly, what can I do to protect myself from those lawsuits and to actually survive them. And without further ado, here's the first question. Okay, first question. Illinois law governs the use and storage of biometric information, but what exactly is biometric information? Do I, as a business owner, need to be worried about it? Well, biometric information has seen within an explosion of the use of biometric information in the workplace because it is an effective way of securing the workplace and its tools. And since the pandemic, we've seen an increased use of it for purposes of testing employees. Examples include retina and iris scans, fingerprinting, voice prints, the scan of the hand, or face recognition. And some of its uses include, obviously, securing the workplace, who gets to go into the workplace, use of fingerprinting for that purposes, securing access to workplace tools like a computer, a scanner, a USB drive. We've seen an explosion in the past few years of the use of this technology for timekeeping purposes and for use for identifying individuals to ensure their identity in financial transactions. So now that we know what is biometric information, let's talk about how to protect ourselves, how best to avoid liability under the Illinois law. Second question, what are some of the best practices for avoiding liability under the Illinois Biometric Information Privacy Act? You know, the law contains a bunch of requirements, and if you don't follow it, you might get sued, and this is really an easy lawsuit for the plaintiffs. The first question I would ask myself is, do I really need to collect this information? If I don't need it, or if I can reach the same result without having to collect biometric data, I would go for that option because the stakes are pretty high on this one, and the requirements are really specific, and if you don't follow those requirements, you may get sued and you might even lose your business. If you do decide to use it, to use biometric data, you must absolutely establish a plan for safeguarding the information. And this is a requirement under the law. Things to consider are who has access to the information. I would strictly limit who has access to the information. The less people have access to it, the better. You must have a plan when there's a security breach. What are you going to do if that happens? I would only store the information locally and not in the cloud. And I would also have an inventory of the devices that contain the information. Also, the best policy is not to hold the information for longer than is necessary. The law establishes that it should be destroyed after the information has been used, and for definitely not longer. You can't hold it for longer than 3 years. However, I would immediately destroy it after it served its purpose. And last but not least, you must absolutely have written consent from the person that you're gathering this information from before you gather the data. And this is the main issue in the various class action lawsuits that have been brought here in Illinois. In that written consent, you must state what the purpose is of you gathering the data, how you are going to store it, and very importantly, for how long you're going to retain it. So make sure that you have at least those minimum requirements. Okay, that's it. Hope you liked it and hope you learned something. I certainly did. If you like this video, make sure to like it, follow us in Facebook and Instagram, and visit our website, lazarolawgroup.com, where you'll find tons of useful information for both employees and employers having to do with employment law. Have a nice week, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.